Quasi, congrats on your Shorty win. Billboard and Mountain Dew won for crowd control. What does winning a Shorty award mean to you guys?
Um, Honestly, I think it's an amazing honor. I think we all in this industry get these opportunities to, put our heads together and ideate and, come up with these great ideas. And if you're lucky enough, you get to execute them. But I think just winning that Shorty Award is really something tangible that shows that we weren't able to just like think outside the box, but really execute in a really exceptional way. And, I think in a way that really resonated with our fans and Mountain Dew's audience.
I love that you said execution because I was actually just going to ask you about that. I see so many people have these great ideas, especially in live, and execution is everything. You guys really permeated culture in a way I see so many brands just try to do and they don't succeed fully. This, in my mind, was 360. You had music, you had fans, you even had a style cam. Is there
Yeah.
anything you would add or even have changed looking back on the event?
Um, I don't know that there's a ton I would have changed. I think as far as adding is concerned, I would have loved to have extended the campaign onto TikTok. I think obviously just given everything that's going on right now, we're seeing kind of just how boundless TikTok is as it relates to creating user generated content. And I feel like incorporating TikTok into the program would have given us another really interesting way to really power these fan oriented sweepstakes that we did that were a key component of the campaign and a great way to give fans the opportunity to meet these artists that they love so much. So I think if we could go back and do it again, I would have loved for us to do some like, I don't know, just some out of the box sweepstakes on TikTok. Maybe like you get to go see Offset if you can do the best rendition of his music video for Red Room, or I don't know, something to that effect.
That's a pretty good prize. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like you must have had so much pride. Talk to me about what your team's postmortem was like post event.
Um, Honestly, I think it was just an all around really crazy sigh of relief. And, it was amazing to not only feel like we executed this branded program in a real way, but we also executed it in a way that really landed home with consumers. And we did it under some really crazy turnaround times. And, it was an execution or a type of execution that my team hadn't done before. We've done a lot of branded concerts, we've done live stream concerts, we've done other live stream programming, but we've never gone so far as to do an interactive live stream. And so just even after the first show that we did, I think back in June with Rico Nasty, that was one that actually came together within I think 4 weeks of when we had actually signed on the dotted line with Mountain Dew. And so after every time, it was half of us saying like, "Wow, I can't believe we pulled this off," and then the other half of us saying like, "Okay, but how do we make this thing that much bigger the next go around?" So
So many people are trying to target Gen Z, and I just don't see it hitting. They almost get there, and it just doesn't happen. You guys, you you got them. What did you do? Why do you feel like you connected with them so organically?
um, honestly, I think from the perspective of somebody that works at a music publisher, at the end of the day, it's really just being able to align with the artists that really have their ear, and I think from there, it was really working in the insight that, Gen Z, kind of like millennials to a greater extent, they really want to have their hand in the experiences that they're consuming. And so our thinking was always like, okay, well, how do we put the artist on stage that they really want to see, but then also give them the opportunity to essentially cater the show to what it is that they want to see in real time. That was the question that we always wanted to answer. And I think striving for that is what helped us really, communicate that effectively to that audience.
I thought that the way you engaged fans was really impressive. I kind of want to lay a few out for people watching this. So,
Yeah.
um, fans sent messages and song requests to the artist by posting to Facebook or Twitter with the hashtag Mountain Dew Crowd Control.
Hmm.
During the crowd control break, the artist responded to select messages before performing a fan selected song, which is really hard to execute. And I thought you wove that in seamlessly. How did you
Yeah.
decide on each format? I feel like there was so much happening.
It's a really good question. I think that for us, we were always asking ourselves, how do we really marry the live show experience with things that are turnkey on to execute on social media platforms?
Mhm.
And so, we had to be really tactful about making sure that we're building in the right amount of breaks so that we give people the opportunity to interact, but we're not taking people completely away from the live show experience altogether. I think anybody that works in like live entertainment in one way or another knows that, especially on social media, you only have a couple of minutes to really grasp somebody's attention, and even once you have it, you only have a couple of minutes to really hold on to it. And so it was constantly trying to counterbalance those two things, like, okay, well, how do we make sure that this live show is really interactive for the people that are in the venue, but how do we give enough white space so that people that are watching online and in the crowd, in some instances, get the opportunity to send in that request, or get the opportunity to, compete in the style cam competition, and do some of these different interactive things that they wouldn't get at a normal show.
In my mind, people and brands are going to be using what you did as a case study to try and replicate. Are you trying to build on this at all? Is this going to be something that you do again and again, or was this a one off?
I think it started off as something that was a one-off, and again, it was an area that we wanted to delve into and see, okay, how far can we take this thing, how well can we do with it. And I think, to your point, now that we've seen the results of it, it's something that we want to do again. Obviously, present time, with everything that's going on in present times, it's not going to be the easiest to execute, but I think just at a higher level, seeing what we were able to do with that concert series is really making us think about what we can do in the remote production space, both during this pandemic and afterwards as well.
I want to dive into what the Shorty Awards mean. Do you feel like winning an award amplifies things B2B, B2C?
It's a good question. I would say both, honestly. I think on the one end, it's always amazing to again be able to do this work and to be recognized for it, because there are so many amazing campaigns that people work on and people publish on a week to week basis that don't get that recognition. And I think, it always helps to be able to go to a new potential brand partner and say, hey, like, this is what we've done. And not only, it garnered these numbers and these impressions, these, headlines or whatever, but also, we were recognized for that work up against, I think there were maybe 20 something other people in our category, 20 something other amazing campaigns. And so, yeah, I think it definitely helps on the B2C side and B2B.
Um, this is offline, but I feel like you guys did something that MTV did in the 90s, in that this is potentially a platform that can break new artists. I think there's so much potential here. I loved watching every minute of it, and huge congratulations to you and your team. I think you broke real ground.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, we're just looking forward to the opportunity to get to do it all again, and to, I think, really just try to push the bounds of it a little bit further. Like I mentioned, if we get another crack at this thing, I would love to incorporate, TikTok into it. I would love to see what happens when we stream this on YouTube as opposed to Facebook, or what happens if maybe we even simulcast this on Twitch, which obviously is growing exponentially right now. So yeah, I think it was an amazing experience, and we lucked out to work with some amazing artists and really great talent teams across not only my team but our partners over at Pepsi, everybody over at Telescope TV, and Experience NVE, and yeah, just looking forward to the opportunity to get to do it all again.
I can't wait to see where you take it. Big congratulations to you all.
Thanks, I appreciate it.